Welcome to week 4 of TG Culture's Artrepreneur 101. Tonight we are going to learn about branding and website. The webinar is part of our TD Culture Lab Professional Development webinar series presented by Mississauga Arts Council and sponsored by TD Bank Group. The Mississauga Arts Council is a registered charity dedicated to fostering the growth of the arts sector by cultivating creative opportunities and connections between artists and residents of Mississauga and beyond. MAC is dedicated to providing service-based programming to artists, funding artist-led programs, and growing awareness of the arts to build a vibrant and thriving cultural community. The Mississauga Arts Council acknowledges that the land on which we gather is part of the treaty and traditional territory of Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Huron-Wendat, and Wyandot Nations. We are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land and give our respect to these peoples and their ancestors who have been inhabitants and caretakers of this land since time immemorial. We also recognize that Mississauga is now home to many global Indigenous peoples. So my name is Jacqueline Mack, and I've been with MAC for 5 years. When I joined, I helped rebrand Mississauga Arts Council with our lead multimedia designer, Sabrina Kuna. She is fantastic. And we also were working on Saga Arts Hub relaunch, and I created the Murals with MAC program, along as producing the Beauty of Bees exhibition and so much more. But before that, my background, I worked in advertising in BBDO Asia and Ogilvy One HK for 4 years, and I was completely burnt out. So I decided to come back to Canada, put myself through post-grad, through school again, part-time, and I was a part-time instructor at Visual Arts Mississauga for a good 4 years, got my post-grad in sculpture and installation, and then COVID hit, and then here I am working with MAC 5 years in. On today's agenda, we will be talking about what is branding and what is your type, branding strategy, building your unique story, your voice, website, social presence, resources, and best practices and tips. So let's get right into it. So what is branding? Branding is all around us. We have an idea, a perception of what branding entails. We are so familiar with it because we live in a society where consumerism is so prevalent. So it's so much more than just your favorite brand, your favorite logo, your favorite store, your favorite pop, your drink, or a catchy tagline or slogan. Back then, it's a catchy jingle, but now the catchy jingle are TikTok reels and trending music. So branding really is the entire experience and perception of what people have of your company, your product, your services, or even you as an individual. So it's all about shaping how others feel and see and connect with what you have to offer. It's magic. But there are so many different types of branding, so many, but I'm just going to go down the 4 and discuss the main one. We are so familiar with corporate branding. It focuses on the entire entity, and I am going to put in quotes, its ethical stance and its overall reputation. Number 2, product branding focuses on a single product's unique selling point, the USP, features and benefits. Number 3, service branding focuses on the customer's experience, trust, reliability, and the human elements. Number 4, personal branding focuses on an individual's unique value, propositions, reputation, and the professional identity. So with corporate branding, we're very familiar with Nike. We are familiar with Shein. We are familiar with Lay's, Procter & Gamble, P&G. They're massive brands. And then we go down to product branding. It's more so on a single product. So we can talk about your favorite perfume brand and its single use, its single selling point, and the features. Or even we can talk about shoes benefits, right? This like Jordan's 50 or something, the soles are so comfortable because that is the perfect selling point. And with surface branding, you can get into Disney Resort, you can go into a lot of hotel elements, and then they will talk about their selling points, that they're trustworthy. They try to inject more human elements to it that people can definitely relate to. And of course, personal branding is what you can bring to the table. But a good marketer or a good strategist will combine couple of these or all of them. So I want you to think about pizza toppings, right? You sprinkle a topping here, a sprinkle a topping there without losing its key flavor and story, and you have yourself an interesting brand, an interesting pizza that you can own. So in today's webinar, I will specifically talk about personal branding. So, what is personal branding? It's all about what makes you special. You want to ask yourself questions like, am I a cool painter with a unique skill, right? Or am I a fantastic banjo player that I could, strum with my fingers and my toes and, cross my eyes or whatever? Or do you have a great personality with, teaching capabilities? How do you show people what you're good at and what kind of person you are? So a couple of examples are like Spice Girls that we're very familiar with. We've got Posh Spice, Scary Spice, Baby Spice. They all have their own individual characters that teenagers can really relate to and flock to and purchase merchandise. And this is a brand value. That is their brand selling point. It's something that you can relate to, something you can gravitate towards and see yourself in them. And in this generation, K-pop idols are so prevalent that they have other major groups too. They've got like the visual, they have the dancer, they have the lead vocalist, they have the rapper. It's all categorized for easy, unique selling point that people can gravitate towards. And Richard Branson, we're very familiar with him too, CEO of Virgin. So his brand is very centered towards a younger demographic. It's all about fun, it's fast, travel, jet set lifestyle. I personally don't like Mr. Beast, but Mr. Beast, he's created a brand for himself that he is a fantastic entrepreneur. He gives money away to thousands of people, etc., and has grown his video views, and people see him as this you know great heroic figure that's changing the world and the social landscape. So it depends on who your target audience is. And then we can get into strategy and implementation. You want to ask yourself, what is your content strategy, right? How will you plan it? How will you create it, distribute, and promote your content across chosen platforms? And I will have a breakdown in next slides follow. How will you engage with your audience online? What is your strategy for responding to comments, messages, and reviews? How will you drive traffic to your online channels, properties with SEO, paid advertising, promotions, or email marketing, or below the belt or above the line advertising, right? Is it word of mouth? What is your budget for online marketing and advertising? Do you even need it, right? If you're just starting out, no, you don't need to. Who will manage your online presence? Do you have an internal team or will you outsource? You want to ask yourself these questions because when you create a brand for yourself, consistency is key and you need to keep up with the schedule, or else you will lose tractions, eyes, organic engagement because it's always changing. So here are the breakdown: choosing your platforms and content. Where does your target audience spend their time online? This will ultimately dictate which platforms you should use and prioritize, right? So, for example, artists generally gravitate towards Instagram, they gravitate towards Pinterest because what they have in similar is they are visuals. They're all visual mood boards. and allows people to comment, allows you to sell your products online as well. It's a visual algorithm. Instagram is for illustrations, for artists, for fashionistas. LinkedIn has a different demographic. It's very professional. You don't see fashionistas or illustrators posting on LinkedIn because it's a different target audience. TikTok is more so a educational platform where people actually go to TikTok and find out, how do I cook so and so, DIY so and so. So it's more like used as a search engine, which is quite interesting. Facebook as well has a different demographic. YouTube, great for reels if you were to use that to upload long format. YouTube is all about long format. You want to get those views, you want to get viewerships staying to watch what you have, what you create, or your own website and or blog. So what type of content resonates with your audience and what aligns with your brand? Right? You want to ask yourself questions like, what am I selling? Should I create videos? Does my audience watch videos? Do they care for my blog post? Are they readers? Are they writers? Right? Are they more visual? Do they like stats? If they like infographics, maybe I should plunk those in. We all know that short form video is very popular. Our attention span is really just 2 seconds. Doom scrolling is a thing, and if something doesn't attract our attention, we will leave. We'll move on. Will you live stream? Does that resonate with your audience? I have a lot of artists when they paint murals, when they create DIY workshops, they live stream on TikTok and on Instagram. These are interactive tools that bring in engagement. So you want to do your research. You want to find out who your target audience is and who your tribe of community is. So how often can you realistically create and publish high quality content? It doesn't matter. I always say just start. You never know, but consistency is key. If you decide to post on Tuesday evening, do it next week and the week after, and then the following week after. If you decide to post Wednesday your DIY as a video, short form video, do that consistently. And then on Thursday, if you decide to um, post a backstage photo of what you've been doing with educational tidbits and instructions on how to do that, keep it in your schedule. Understanding your brand and audience continued. So, as I said, you want to know who your target audience are. Beyond that, what are their interests, right? You want to find that insight. What are their pain points, their online behaviors, and their preferred platforms, right? If your demographic is on LinkedIn, why would you want to create a TikTok when they're not interested in content, right? What is your brand's unique selling proposition, your USP? What makes you different and better than your competitors? It doesn't have to be massive. It can be very small. It can just be something very genuine. People love honesty, and oftentimes people can spot it when it's not. So, what are your brand's core values and personality? How do you want people to perceive you? Are you innovative? Are you trustworthy? Are you fun? Are you glamorous? Are you luxurious? Right? It's how people see you, and you can use that as your selling point. Like I said, think back to the Spice Girls, right? What is your brand story? Why did you start? What problem is there a problem that you want to solve? And what is your vision? A lot of the times people will start at an emotional level because we are social creatures by nature, and we love a good sob story. So we're all familiar with American Idol, and you know that that is a program that marketers put together because there's a template, there's a format. They always zoom in and they pan in and they go, who is this singer, from this small town, and this is a sob story, and then it builds up, right? So they're building a story, they're building a narrative to get you to not switch the channel and stay on it when commercials come up. That is their, selling point. You want to sell yourself in a light that resonates with people. Defining your online goals. What do you want to achieve with your online presence, right? Are you just there because you want to increase your brand awareness? Do you want to just generate the leads? Do you want to drive sales? Is it because you're selling a product? Or do you want to build a community? Do you want to provide customer support? Do you want to provide other like-minded communities and artists a specific skill that you have? But you want to make sure that it is quantifiable, because how else will you measure your success, right? What key performance indicators, KPIs, will you use to track, right? There's website traffic, social media engagement, conversion rates, customer lifetime value, and all of that are embedded into all those social platforms. So you don't need to go out of your way to, download something else. So let's go into website. I've talked more than enough about personal branding and the strategy and about social media present, using that as a tool. But why website? Why does it matter? Well, because you're in charge, you're the boss. No one can kick you out. Social media platforms like Instagram or TikTok are fantastic, but they can change the rules. They can even shut your account down without warning. So if you have your own website, you control everything on it. You can show the art the way you want. You can tell your story. You decide how your art is displayed, this order, the size of the pictures, and the colors on the page. You want to curate it like a museum, make it look good because it's all about you. But whereas social media, you're stuck on a specific layout. And of course, there are ways to make it fun, but I'm sure that could be another TD Culture Lab session. I did provide resources in this PDF, in this presentation. I won't click through them. I encourage you to do that once you receive this, because it's a lot of information, and it's also a great little um, introduction to what you like. So these specific um, uh, websites are for you to build. And of course, if you're a member of Mac already, our own sister site, sagaartshub.com, already has a built-in function for artists like yourself to post your work online without making a website. It also makes you look very professional, right? You can be that real artist, in quotes. Like, having your own website shows people that you're serious about your work. You like having a fancy business card that's always online. So it's great. It's also very trustworthy. It's also very credible, because if you are a musician or um, a gallery owner, or for art collectors, they'll ultimately want to look at your website, which in this case, it's really your professional website, which includes your resume and CV, and they can see how well established you are. And I provided examples below as well. I have a couple of my friends on there, as well as myself, and how I brand myself. It also helps people to find you. If you type in my name, or you type in anybody's name, really, um, your website will pop up depending on how you put in your SEO functions on the website. They can connect with you directly. So in short, for an artist, a website is the central hub of your online brand. It's where you have complete control to present your art, tell your story, look professional, and connect directly with your audience and potential buyers, right? Social media is great for spreading the word, but your website is where people come to you to truly experience you as a brand and as an artist. So these are a couple of resources as well about portfolios and showcasing work. They're great for building your online presence. It's all laid out. ArtStation is really great for digital artists, concept artists, anyone going into the entertainment industry. Dribble is great for graphic designers, UI and UX creatives. Cargo is great for stylish templates. I would say a lot of them have really good stylish templates, to be honest. Great for musicians as well. If you are an Adobe user like myself, then it actually comes with a portfolio website for, I guess, for free, but not really because you pay them. Behance is also good. It's by Adobe. Very, very large selection. If you are looking to sell your artwork online, these are best way for independent artists to monetize the work is on Etsy, Saatchi, Society6, Redbubble, and or Shopify. Mhm. So, best practices and tips. Please have fun. Create a Pinterest because it's great. Look for inspiration and follow your favorite artists. So, it might seem really daunting with all the resources that I provided, but the websites clear that out really easily. Like, easiest to set up would be Squarespace, Portfolio for simplicity, your first go format or Squarespace. Budget friendly, of course, is Adobe Portfolio or Wix free plan or sagaartshub.com. Selling your art or product, always Shopify or Wix. And then in terms of branding, be yourself, focus on your main selling point. You want to adapt to the environment around you and don't fear change because change is good. Everything changes so quickly. So, thank you.